welcome to the Daily D. Today we are making a carrot cake. It's got a lot of ingredients. It looks complicated, but it's really not. First of all, I want to talk to you about cakes that incorporate a lot of things. Like this carrot cake has carrots and raisins and coconut and nuts and pineapple, and it sounds a lot like a lot of things. But when you're making something for the first time, try and make it as close to the recipe as possible. I've heard people, not on mine, but on different recipes, they'll comment and they'll go, I substituted whole wheat flour for white flour, and I used half the sugar, and I omitted the pineapple and the coconut because we don't like them, and we didn't put in the nuts. And honestly, it was the most horrible cake I've ever tasted. Well, they didn't use that recipe. With baking, it's almost like a science formula. The pineapple contains a lot of moisture. You remove the pineapple, then the cake is going to be a lot drier. You substitute this white flour for whole wheat flour. It's just like white bread compared to whole wheat bread. It's a totally different texture. People have said when they make carrot cake, you're supposed to grate it. You know, like on a cheese grater, people will cut it up fine and then go, oh, I hated the chunks of hard carrot. Well, that's because they didn't follow the recipe properly. So in a recipe like this, you might be able to get away with maybe removing the coconut or the raisins or something like that. But if you're removing the pineapple and the raisins and the coconut and the nuts, well, all you're left with is basically carrots and flour, and it's not going to taste like it should. Now, with the pineapple, if you don't like pineapple, don't worry about it. You can't taste individual chunks of pineapple, and the cake doesn't taste pineapple-y in any way. All these flavors meld and make a great cake. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in 2 cups of flour, and we're going to put in 2 teaspoons baking soda, and what else? The salt, and we are going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I can't find my 1/4 teaspoon, so I've just got my 1/8 out here, and I'll do it twice. And we need 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. I love the smell of cinnamon. Okay, and then we're just going to sift that all together. And we're going to put that aside. Okay, next we're going to put the eggs. And the buttermilk. Three eggs, and we're going to put in buttermilk. Now, most people don't have buttermilk. I never have buttermilk in my fridge. It always goes bad. What I do is I put in a tablespoon of vinegar into a 1 cup measuring cup, and then fill it up to the 1 cup mark and mix it up, and that gives you 1 cup of butter. buttermilk, and then I just take off a 1/4 cup and throw it away. I don't know how to make just 3/4 cup. So that goes in there. The oil, we have, I think it's 3/4 cup of vegetable oil. The sugar, we have 1½ cups of white sugar. And the vanilla, which is 2 teaspoons of the vanilla. I always use pure vanilla rather than the imitation. I know it's a lot more expensive, but to me it really makes a difference. Okay, and then we're going to mix that up. Now, bear with me, I haven't used one of these in years. I have a stand mixer, so I'm kind of scared. That's why I'm wearing an apron. Okay, it's not as bad as I thought. I thought I'd have some of this on the ceiling. Now we're going to add the flour mixture. Well, I'm just going to mix this up a little bit. I'm just incorporating this a bit because I'm not used to the hand mixer and I don't want it to go flying all over the kitchen. Okay, now it says to, well, I usually put it in a bowl, but got to bring a bowl out, so I'm just going to put it back in here. Since it's all going in the same cake, it doesn't matter. And we're going to put in the shredded carrots. And we're going to put in the shredded carrots is 2 cups of shredded carrots. We are going to put in the coconut, which is 1 cup of shredded coconut. And we are going to put in the walnuts, which is 1 cup of walnuts. I just had whole walnuts, so I just chopped them up. And the pineapple. Now, you need 8 ounces. I'm in Canada, and you need 8 ounces of the crushed pineapple in its own juice. But this is a 14 ounce, okay, and you only need 8. It has to be the crushed. You only need 8, and you need the juice too. So 8 ounce, this is fluid ounces, so 8 fluid ounces is 1 cup, so I just put it in a measuring cup. and the raisins. Now I plump my raisins. If you're not familiar with that, when you get raisins, they're hard little nuggets, and I like my raisins to be not quite as chewy in a thing, but softer. So I put a cup of raisins in this bowl, and I put it up to here with hot water, and I just leave it for 15 minutes, and then I strain it, and it just makes sure that they're just a little plump. You don't have to do that, it's just something I choose to do. So then you're just going to mix this all around. Isn't this a great color? Like, I love the looks of this. And once it's mixed, you're just going to add it into the batter. And you're not going to use your mixer at all. You're just going to fold this in. Make sure it's well incorporated top to bottom. Okay, I'm just going to just go over here for 1 second. I forgot to put my oven on. You're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And I'm just going to take my baking pans, get all of this out of here. Give myself some room, and I'm going to just take some Pam. These are 8-inch pans. You can do an 8 by 13 sheet cake if you like. So I'm just going to pour half. I'm making a real mess over here. Just see which one needs more. Are they about even? I think so. The part I hate most, it's trying to get both even. Okay, so I made a bit of a mess there. So these will go in, and it takes approximately an hour, so you can just do the normal cake testing where you put a toothpick in until it comes out clean. I'm going to put these in. I'm going to double check on the time at 3:50, and then we'll be back, and I'll show you how we decorate them and put the icing on it. Okay, so now we're going to make some cream cheese icing to go on the carrot cake. I have my doubts about making it in here. I may have to stop halfway and put it into a bigger bowl. My other ones are the metal bowls, the stainless steel ones, but I wanted to do it in a clear bowl so you could see it. So we'll give it a try. Like I'm used to using a stand mixer, so I have no idea what fits into these bowls. So we're just going to take the butter. This is half a cup. This is half a cup softened, and we're just going to mix it up a bit. And we're going to put in our first of the cream cheese. We're going to be using 2 of these. Second one now. I'm just going to take this away from the sides and the bottom and just make sure everything's evenly distributed. We're going to put in 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and like I said before, I prefer to use pure vanilla extract. If you just have the artificial, you can use it, but I really recommend investing in pure. If you keep a lookout on Amazon and sales at grocery stores, you can generally get it for pretty cheap. And what you can do is, if you find it too pricey to bake, get a small container, like just a small little bottle of it, and choose what you put it in. So if you're making something like this, a carrot cake, use it for that. If you're making like Rice Krispie squares or something like that that doesn't matter too much for the kids, then just use the artificial one. Now you can see how nice and creamy and smooth that is. So right now we're going to start adding in approximately 6 cups. I say 6 cups, but it can vary because sometimes it depends upon how humid it is in your house or other factors of how much you actually use. This is sifted, and it's icing sugar or confectioner sugar, whatever you call it where you live. I'm not putting in too much at a time because I don't want this to like fling all over. When I was actually sifting this, I had a bit of a accident, and it blew up all over the place, and it made quite the mess. Just getting everything around the sides. taking a bit, but it's actually something I enjoy doing. Now when you get your cakes out of the oven, oh, mine, by the way, I took them out at 50 minutes, not an hour. So make sure and check them after 40 minutes. I have a very small oven. I also have a large regular size one. It's like a Maytag with a smaller one on top and a bigger one on the bottom. And I cooked it in the top ones, which things tend to cook a little quicker there. So that might account for the difference in time I told you. Now when you make icing, if ever you find that it's just a wee bit too thick, just put in about a tablespoon of milk, and that will thin it out a bit. And then if you find, oh, that was too much, you can just add a wee bit of icing sugar again. Now I'm putting this on high just to whip it up a bit. Okay, so we are done. I only knew how to eject these, so wipe off my hand. Okay, so you have a choice how you want to do this. If you cooked it in a 9 by 13 inch pan, you're just going to put on a nice big thick layer of this. Now, after I took my pans out, I let them cool for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I took them out of the pan. I run a knife along the outside edge. I turn it over and then beat the bottom, and it releases into your hand. Sometimes it's a little difficult, but just do it. Now I have enough icing in here to cut these in half. So I think I'm going to do that. And we're going to make 2 small layer cakes. Now this is, I'm going to put a link to this. I love this. This is a cake cutter. And you just put it down. And put it back and forth. And it cuts it nice and even. Now if you're going to make like a 4-layer cake out of this, you're going to have to trim up the top here, but we're not going to bother with that. We're going to make 2 smaller cakes. That way it seems like more. Now as you can see, it's a gorgeous cake inside. I'm just going to get my a knife to put that in, put that on. So we had to take a bit of a break there. I went to go and get this, and we realized that the camera battery was about to die. So I cleaned up a bit, and I already did one of the cakes. So this is the second one. Just going to put some on that and then spread it out. Now, they have a lot of really expensive turntables you can buy, and I used to have a really expensive one by Wilton. It tilted, it did everything. But I lost it in the move, and there were so many things that were lost that I had to take my time replacing them. So I bought this cheap one, and you know what? It does everything I need it to, so. Okay. I also have this. This is one of my favorite things. It's a heavy, it can lift a really heavy cake. It's a cake lifter, and I'll show you in a second. You can just stick it under cakes to transfer them. I love it. I've had that quite a while. I probably would have cried if that didn't make it over. With this, I don't usually decorate the sides of it because this is a really soft, creamy icing. Now, I could firm it up a bit. If you want it firmed up, you just add more icing sugar. But the thing is I want this to have like a cream cheese flavor, not hint of cream cheese. And I don't want it to taste like you're eating plain cream cheese. But if you put a lot of sugar in it, it gets just too sweet. And I don't want that with a carrot cake, because carrot cake kind of sounds healthier. So you don't want it with that. And then I just usually move around the stuff on the sides. Now this will firm up. Once it, you should store it in the fridge, and it will firm up. Going to put a little bit on here, and there's some extras, so I'm going to throw it on both of them. It'll be nice and thick, which is kind of nice. This will firm up quite a bit in the fridge. You should store it in the fridge because of the cream cheese. Getting things all over the place. So there we go. I'm going to just fix this one up again. Little piece of carrot cake there. And we're going to come back in just a second, and I'm going to cut a piece and show you what it looks like inside once it's all decorated. So see you in a minute. So we are done. Both are iced. I've cut a piece out. It is just, it's so moist and so delicious. And here's a piece here. Give it a try. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And join us again for another recipe. Please like, subscribe, and you know, turn on the notification button if you want to know when we put up another video. We put them up several times a week, and we'll be doing a lot more recipes and just some little adventures and everything as well. So please join us and have a good day, and thank you for watching.